just press the button now. We are live.
Welcome everybody to our council meeting of December the 16th. Around the table we have a couple of vacant seats this evening. We have our town clerk, Joanne Curry, town manager, Cindy Collins, Councillor Jess Paul, Councillor Gerald Perry is away sick, Councillor Chantel Lynch is attending our meeting on behalf of council, Councillor Richard Kelly, Councillor Craig Arnold, and Deputy Mayor David Saunders, and myself, Doug Churchill. We'll call the meeting to order, and we'll start with the regular council meeting, the minutes of the regular council meeting of November 25th at 7:30. Need a motion to adopt, please. Moved by Councillor Arnold, second by Deputy Mayor. All in favor? Everybody. Anything arising from those minutes? And just bring to your attention number 11. I don't think we set a time in meeting to have the committee to discuss the old timers letter related to naming of Glovertown Gardens. In the new year? Do you want to leave it just open like that, or do you want to? And Councillor Arnold. Councillor Arnold is doing? Yeah. Number 11. Okay. Yeah, well, obviously we make the new year. All right, so we leave it till the new year.
I'll put that on before.
Put that deferred, Dave. Thank you. Anything else arising? A lot of items, there's 32 of them, so give you a minute. Number 27? Number 27.
We may have a solution to a problem there. I think Paul Oram would probably entertain having that box put in the foyer of Walmart, which would be a great thing in my opinion, because worry about outdoors in the snow and stuff like that, right? As for the book exchange box,
okay.
Sandy could probably know more than I would just much.
Yeah, so I haven't spoke to him, but from what I gather, he seems open to the idea. So just reminding
with
the people themselves, yeah.
Who have the box made. If that's acceptable to them and if it's acceptable to Mr. Oral, it would be perfect.
Well, I was talking to her this afternoon. She's at the house here and came up and she's more than happy that it's
perfect. Sure. So we'll leave it to the town manager to work out the details, of course. Perfect. Anything else arising? Hearing none, we'll move to the privilege meeting of November 25th at 8:45. And of course, being a privilege meeting, we'll just adopt the minutes, but if there is something that you want to bring up, then of course we will probably have a short privilege meeting afterwards. So we need a motion to adopt, please. Moved by Councillor Arnold, second. Councillor Kelly, thank you. All in favor? Everybody? So we'll move right on then to the Public Works Committee meeting of December the 1st at 1 p.m.
Move for adoption.
Second, Councillor Arnold, Councillor Kelly and Councillor Arnold. All favor? Everybody. Now there are two recommendations there. I think we'll probably need to do two motions, if I'm correct. The first one is that council discontinue the plowing of the private driveway off Willow Ridge Road. Contact be made with the property owners and if necessary, a meeting with the Public Works Committee. This was, of course, as a result of, council finding, that the road was plowed, has been plowed, and that there is really no reason for it.
You want a motion?
We need a motion
Accept the recommendation.
to accept the recommendation. Moved by Councillor Arnold, second by Councillor Kelly. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Everybody. The second one is a recommendation this time in relation to Public Works again, and this one is a letter from Elvis Falcon Company dated November the 3rd. Recent work carried out by the company on Jollyview Drive involving the repairing of town infrastructure. Felt that the construction limit is to be reimbursed the amount of $1,366.94 as per the invoice. And in future, contractors to be instructed to make contact with Public Works, the town Public Works employees, prior to any work being carried out that involves the town infrastructure. Moved by Councillor Kelly, second by Deputy Mayor. Any discussion?
On that one there, didn't it come up that the work wasn't done properly in the first place?
That wasn't part of our discussion at the meeting, for sure. So now,
I thought it came back from building construction that the work wasn't done properly, and that's why it broke. If it was done by the town, then it was okay. We can absorb it, of course. But if it's done by another contractor, then there's no reason why we should pay for it.
I'm not understanding what your suggestion was done
There
now.
was a letter from Phil came back. I thought that when they repaired that there, it was because of some sloppy work was done. That's why it occurred. And that was done by a contractor prior to Phil was doing it, and that contractor should be responsible for fixing it.
Yeah,
Well, if the town employs it, of course we got to absorb it. But if it was another contractor, then they should pay for it.
this was, from what I can tell and from pictures I've seen, it's an existing pipe that was no longer used. It was decommissioned. So there's a whole bunch of factors at play, but the issue that started on private property ended up extending out into public infrastructure, into the lines. It was all opened up. It was on a weekend, as I recall, and Elvis just took it upon himself because he didn't want to leave this man without services. Went ahead and fixed the problem that extended into our pipes. This is not the first time it's ever been done. It's the first time he or anybody else in my short time has come looking for reimbursement. But his point was he's done it in the past, but how many times can he do it? This recommendation here is before that situation ever happens again. He will call the Public Works worker either on call, or if it's a Monday to Friday 9 to 5, have call that to the office, have us go up and make a determination. Then our Public Works would carry out that work as opposed to a private contractor. So hopefully this will never happen again, but it was clear from the evidence that was presented, he did fix public lines.
Well, no doubt he did fix it, but I thought it was caused by, from what I understood from Elvis, the contractor, was that it was caused by some faulty work in the beginning. That's why it broke.
The pipes that were there could be in the ground for 30, 40 years. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Very well.
Okay, any other discussion? Ready for the question? All in favor? Everybody? Okay, so that takes us down to deferred business. The municipal plan amendment for Kenny Cove and Street Apertures, nothing new.
Nothing new.
We just mentioned a letter from the Old Hammer, so I guess we'll leave that now till something is decided. The zone change request for Tower Equestrian, there's an item there tonight, so we'll leave that, I guess, for the time being. But that has not changed. The zone itself hasn't changed. The zone application. The RV dumping station 2021, that's something, of course, we'll leave it in the spring. Contact Wolf James.
Yeah, Wilf was appreciative of the decision, and he said he's going to do some legwork now to see if it's possible, but he understood with regards to tying into a lift station as opposed to the main line. Didn't question that. Just got to see about the land in between him and the lift station, make sure there's no private property at the cross. But anyways, he said, that's good. He said, now I know I can look into it and get the ball rolling, so still keep us posted.
The next item is House of Diamond cleaning. We were looking at janitorial services and so on. There was something left to be done.
Yeah, let's talk to Karen, but I don't think there's much to be talked about at this point yet. There's no activity over to the dog house, so early in the new year, we'll probably take a look at that.
The next one is review policies for subdivision extensions and existing roads, water, and sewer. We haven't, of course, done anything with that. That'll be the new year as well. And the lookout on Brideshill for KDMP, that was in relation to putting a sign and so on there.
Yep.
And there was something to be done with that.
Yeah, I had spoken to a representative of the Fry Foundation, and they would prefer not naming specific pieces of the trail. However, maybe something could be looked at with like a storyboard or something of that nature. So I don't know if that, but maybe we could have a conversation. We have the bigger conversation regarding naming of, around the arena and different things.
Yes,
maybe that could all be part of that conversation, perhaps.
So we certainly need it there till the decision is made. Okay. We'll move then to permits. And the first one is an email request, from Cecily Parsons. Again, we just read a sewer line. And this is a request in addition to something that we had decided earlier. So they're looking, I believe, to increase the size of the sewer line from a 4-inch to a 6-inch. And the permit committee met and a decision was made.
The recommendation of the permit committee, so I'll make a motion that we approve for them to put a 6-inch sewer line and 2-inch water line for new property development on Main Street South with no future development. No additional development.
Yeah, and sorry if I may, just to clarify, the 2-inch, it would be tapped at a 1-inch, but transition to a 2, if anything at all. So we're just approving the 1-inch tap, what they choose to do, whether they keep it as a 1-inch or move it up to a 2. That would be there. Yeah, that's correct.
So the motion has been made by Councillor Arnold and seconded by Councillor Powell. Any further discussion? All in favour? Is everybody? The next item is the application to build a shed from David Parsons. This is across the road from his property. And again, the permit committee has met.
Okay, the motion is to not be approved as the zoning is open space conservation. The shed is a non-conforming use in that zone.
Okay, so it's moved and second that we not allow the development there. Any discussion? Okay, ready for the question? All in favour? Everybody. The next one is an application to build a residence by Lauren Davis. And again, the permit committee's decision.
Motion to approve the application as submitted, subject to water supply from town and government approved septic system, and the asphalt be replaced from the cut for the water hookup on the Main Street North.
Second. Okay, second by Councillor Paul, Councillor Arnold, Councillor Paul. Any discussion?
That was in before
The same one that we had a few years ago. A few changes. All in favour? Is everybody? Okay, moving right along. An application to build an extension to a shed from Mike Rouse.
Motion is to approve the application as per the diagram submitted.
Okay. Second by Councillor Kelly, Councillor Arnold, Councillor Kelly. Any discussion? The only councillor who's here, of course, who wasn't at the permit meeting is Councillor Paul. I just mentioned that the discussion was around the 23 feet as opposed to 25 feet from the building to the road. So we're looking for a variance of 2 feet there. All in favour? Everybody? And the last one is from Top Notch Development Limited. And this is a request for some construction. at the site of 29 Main Street South.
The motion is that we approve the application from Top Notch Development, subject to advertising and service NL approval for renovations to, I guess you call it, dock and stay executive suite.
Stadium.
I'll say that.
Any discussion? All in favor? Everybody? Okay. Down to reports. Councilors' reports. Oh, no, sorry. Town manager first, sorry.
Just a few things. First off, we need to schedule a finance meeting, and this year is a little bit weird in so many aspects, but with regards to our draft audit, we just received that recently last week. In years past, and the clerk can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's generally due, or we get it in June, and it was bumped up, extended until September this year, given the COVID situation, and then based on a bunch of other variables with our auditor, we didn't get it until last week, so that's pushed us off a bit, but we're looking to have a finance meeting early in the new year, and the date I would suggest would be January 7th.
Which is a what?
Thursday.
Thursday.
And hopefully then we would have it ready to be approved at our first regular council meeting of January. So we would be,
Which would be the following week.
the following week.
It's Thursday.
We'll touch base again in the new year.
Yeah, okay. All right, so that's for information purposes. Thank you, sir.
Next, I was speaking to MHA Parrott regarding the having a committee or council or individuals from council go and view the Clarenville Fire Department as well as the farmers market, and he was more than happy to arrange that. He's done it with other towns actually, coming and viewing those properties. So he had suggested us to get back to him with a time that would be good for us, and he would work around it and make sure it happens. So I don't know what the interest is.
I think it should be done. Look at it.
Certainly should be done.
Look at the firehouse, look at your farmer's market. There's something on the house that really goes together.
Leave it to early January now?
Yes.
That too.
Oh, so
Is there, how much we can do now?
Do you want to defer the decision to that first meeting of January?
To the time.
Yeah, defer the time,
Yeah.
Oh, when?
It's too bad it got late in the season because most people don't. Well, it's only next week, of course, before Christmas, and then you got the break up. So, yeah. Okay, sir.
next up, we had some correspondence from Diane and Joe Stead. They live in Saunders Cove. They have a water issue that they want dealt with, and it's from what I understand from speaking of Public Works, it's been a long-standing issue where it's water running off Main Road, running down their driveway, which is quite an incline, but it's causing quite a bit of damage to their driveway. So they were wondering if there was anything could be done with regards to drainage or something the town could do to try to get that water off their driveway. I don't think it's a decision we can make here tonight, but I was wondering if we could have the Public Works committee to go down and have a look at it and discuss.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be fine. Yeah. And based, of course, if there's 3 feet of snow down, it might not be much good to look at it then, but there's already snow on the ground now, so I guess we can play it by ear next.
See how it goes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, 2 more items. The arena manager had brought this up to me today. He's wondering what the appetite is for council to hold a Christmas tournament. So this would be something that would not be sanctioned by Hockey Newfoundland. It would basically be the one where it's a rec league where you get 60 people, 60 adults in for a Christmas tournament. In years past, this has always been done, no issue. Of course, now it's a little bit different because, for example, minor hockey or figure skating, the organizing bodies would make sure to direct traffic and make sure everything goes as planned with regards to the regulations, COVID regulations. This here would be a little bit different. They're going to be all adults. We're not going to have an organizing body that would play that part, so it would be left on the one arena manager or worker at that time to make sure everything goes as planned. There was some hesitancy around it because it's a town-sanctioned event, if you would, and it's a gathering again, it falls within the guidelines of 100 people in the arena, but it's a little bit different. So when I spoke to him today, he asked for council's input on it. He's good either way, but he'd like to have council's opinion on whether this is something that should be pursued at the time, given all the goings on in the last number of weeks.
So there's still 100 people can be in the arena now at any particular time.
So, for example, like figure skating, when you go up there, somebody at the door doing contact tracing, taking names. Then when you go in, one of the organizers from our hockey team, for example, would make sure one team goes out one set of doors, the other team would go to the other set of gates. There'd be distance. You know, it would all be orchestrated as such because you had an organizing body. This here would all fall upon the arena staff member who's there, who would also be required to do cleaning, to do ice cleaning, all those things. So it's a little bit of a different situation, not impossible. But again, he was looking for direction.
Say, okay, we don't have one. Anyone out there? Do we have any employee up there in that stadium?
Is there something going on, you mean?
Yeah. Are we going to pay the employee for that 2 or 3 2 days they have the tournament? Or are we going to have one minor hockey practice for an hour and he get paid for his full shift? That's concern I got.
Now, when I asked him about that today, Councillor Kelly was there when we had a brief chat. He said he may be able to fill up that ice with other things, maybe not to the same extent. Maybe. Right. No.
But are we better shut down the city for 2 or 3 days? We're not going to have the tournament. Unless he can fill up that schedule. Are we going to say to a person, you go up there for 8, 10, 12 hours and sit back and get your days fed? I don't know if it was a tournament.
Yeah.
Like Christmas tournaments takes up in 2 days.
Yeah.
That's the decision we got to make. Are we going to keep the stadium open? That we may. Because I'll tell you, parents don't want their kids to play hockey the first part of Christmas. Go in and look at everybody else. They got their families and that. I never ever seen minor hockey play Christmas. Not in my 10 years as president of minor hockey. I've never ever seen minor hockey play Christmas.
So you're saying in the event that this doesn't go, there'll be nothing out there?
Well, why, if you can't guarantee it, then are we going to say, okay, shut down the stadium, we're going to pay you?
Now, just to clarify for his benefit, the arena man, he's fine either way.
I know.
Right? So
Fine anyway.
So just to clarify, he was just looking for some direction. If something were to happen, of course, he wants to be able to say, well, council sanctioned it. Now, I don't think anything will happen, but you obviously you never know. You can never know.
But there must be 60 people there at one time. You got teams playing.
The only 2 teams.
Yeah.
Probably 15 at the most. Probably 12 out of team. And Chris was in the stadium at one time. When they're finished, given a certain amount of time, they're out the other 2 teams.
But I guess there's a part of this where in the past it's been a socializing part as well. So you could have most of all of the people of all teams up there in their dressing rooms in between games. That there wouldn't be any spectators or partners attending. So it would just be players. So there could possibly be 60. Likely there wouldn't be that many, but there'd probably be more than 15 or 20.
I don't know.
No.
It's something that I don't know.
Difficult to decide.
And are we going to say, okay, it's done it, and we're still going to pay our employees?
We might have to.
Now, Lewisport, I heard today Lewisport is doing their Christmas.
Bruce Bay is doing theirs too.
Right.
Tax money on that. They're at the court the same as the outlet. Now, they don't have the same program. They only have 3 on a team. They play 10-minute games.
And Lewisport
They had to leave the stadium a half hour after they come off the ice. You have to leave the stadium. You can't stay around drinking.
No.
One year, other years, you can all stay in the dressing rooms together and have a beer, and when your turn come up, come on, noise. Not allowed to do that this year.
Can we make a call?
Well, I don't know whether we do a sport, whoever is. Yeah, I think Dean has to make a call. He's the one getting organized.
Well, the other thing, the other side of it, of course, which is most important for us, is how much is it going to cost us extra, or is there any extra cost? I mean, there is cleaning and so on. You got to have somebody there. I suspect is the whoever is looking after the games. Is he going to look after, or is she going to look after the cleaning as well? there would be no extra cost if they were, other than the fact that you'd have them there for their day's work, right?
Well, there's enough dressing rooms for each team to have dressing rooms, so
Yeah.
they go in, you wouldn't have to clean in between.
No.
We have the last 2 years, 4 teams up there.
I guess they're gonna use the same teams that they have.
Oh, I'd imagine,
on
yeah.
record.
Yeah. The only reason we're having this conversation, of course, is because, everything that's going on, but.
Why don't we get the town manager have a conversation with the arena manager and finalize the details of exactly how it's going to work, and we can have a quick sit down probably between now and the time it starts in the next few days and make a decision. I'm not sure that everybody's ready to make the decision tonight. No.
Like I said, you cancel it. Talking, I don't think he wants to have it. Personally, the time that I don't think he wants to have it.
Well, maybe that's something we should check with and see.
But he said, he's better for us to make the decision.
Yes.
How much money would town bring in?
Probably the host franchise. Yeah.
It wouldn't be a money-making venture, because of course you're paying your
It is a money maker.
keeping the lights on, and, yeah.
Christmas time, when it's no need also that, was always the rec tournament was always there.
But I got no problem with it if you follow both regulations
I have either.
and you make sure that that's carried out to the letter. Then and if the town manager, if the arena manager is willing to look after it and see that it's done, I have no problem with it. I don't think it's going to be a big expense for the town one way or the other.
Well, we shut down the city for 2 or 3 days. These 2 days and pay the employees.
I don't know how that works. I'm not sure. Would we have to pay them? I mean, we said we'd pay them 40 hours a week, wasn't it? So 35.
70 hours.
35.
You have to have that.
We had a discussion, didn't we?
So you're not going to discuss anything about guaranteed pay. Schedule and pay is 2 different things. But I won't argue with you on that.
What does everybody else think?
Go ahead.
So follow the regulations. Yeah.
Follow the regulations.
Follow the regulations.
So if the regulations can be followed.
Yes.
And that's if you can get the teams.
And if the teams are available,
Teams are available, so I don't know.
and if there's no extra expense to the town. It's a lot of ifs.
It's going to have to be breaks between the games. Like,
Oh yes.
they need a monitor hockey this year.
Yeah.
You have to have the breaks in order to clean that.
Yeah.
People in there.
Now, it'll be a bit different if all the teams are in and they stay in their dressing rooms and come out as needed. Of course, you wouldn't be cleaning the dressing rooms and stuff, so.
People keep the stadium going.
Oh yeah, and inside the two.
They're up there.
Does somebody want to make that a motion?
They need some money.
Probably should. Town manager, town clerk. Motion.
It's fine, yeah.
Okay, moved by deputy mayor.
The motion is?
That we would let them go ahead if we can follow all the regulations. If the town manager, the arena manager is willing to look after it, and if it's no extra cost to the town.
I'll second that.
Second by Councillor Kelly. Any discussion?
The way I look at it, you got 2 options. Either have it or shut the stadium down. You
Yeah,
can't guarantee anybody filming in that space.
No, not that.
Yes, someone might go up there and have a practice, and they may not. You got family.
All right. Are you, anybody else? Are you ready for the question? All in favor? Yeah, it's everybody. I don't know really clear on what we were when we started, but.
I hesitate you to thank you for your direction.
Carry on, sir.
And finally, I was approached by a councillor today just inquiring about, so the town owns a dump trailer up at our rec grounds that the boys use, Dean and Dave also, and Karen for that matter, during the summer for up at Kendall Park and whatnot. The trail riders,
Dump trailer.
the dump trailer would be hauled by an ATV, like a small dump trailer. The request was that the trail riders would be able to borrow it on Sunday. They were going to be conducting some work on the trail. They wanted to use it. Generally, we don't loan equipment. In my short time here, we've been asked before, and we've not allowed it. Of course, the last request came in from a private business. This is from a Trail Riders. We're all familiar with Trail Riders group. So they've requested to borrow that. Just wondering on councils. Again, we generally don't, but this is a not-for-profit group. I don't know if that changes anything, but wanted to get some direction before going ahead and doing it or not.
I'd like to speak to that, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was forced on that there, and I said I'd bring it to council. Of course, you know they got a new committee now, right?
Yes, you do.
So I'd like to probably approve that to get off a good start with that committee. I've been hearing past 10 years anyway that all the money that the trail bring into the town, thousands of dollars for the businesses, and for us to deny them the cart for one day. So I'd like to make a motion that we would go ahead and have the cart for that Sunday.
And we have a seconder. Councilor Arnold.
I have no problem with it.
The only
They're a non-profit organization, run like a business. Why would a business come doing that?
The only caution I'll throw you away, of course, is you're setting a precedent now where, if these people,
Non-profit,
What they're doing
I
is-
see a business coming and saying, I want to get a trailer. They can go before won't get the trailer paid off. But a non-profit organization that we're trying to support, because we keep trying to support them.
Yeah, we got support them in the past, but is that more than that? What is?
And
And the thing is, it's like they got Duke Holloway is donated, free cost, his excavator, and they're putting some bottom mats down, so they want to haul some fill in to cover up the bottom mats. That's all it is. And they got a bunch of volunteers on the go. This seems like they're got a good thing going, but we'll see what happens.
any further discussion? Pretty good question. All in favor? Is everybody?
Thank you.
You're done.
Hold on.
Councilors. Councilor Paul. Anything?
No.
Councilor Kelly.
I was just wondering today, but no, sure, anything about the home, but dog fish, Sandy explained why he never got them.
Yeah, so just for the public's information, generally we have our rates up by now, but they're made locally. They have been in the past. This year we weren't able to source them locally from the few individuals that make them, so we had to go out and try to get them elsewhere, and actually had to get them ordered online, unfortunately. But anyhow, it's they're on their way, but they're caught in Dieppe, New Brunswick, along with everybody else's parcels. So we're due to get them December 23rd now, is the latest update from today. So I don't know if it'll only be through a Christmas miracle if they come before Christmas. So anyhow, that's where that is.
And the lights and so on, and the banners and all that will go up within the next day or two, I think.
Yeah.
Plans.
All depending on weather. Yeah.
The trees that they did, you're right.
Not yet, but that's what I said. That'll all be done. All the lights will go up on the trees and so on within the next few days, hopefully. Anything
That's
else?
it.
Councilor Arnold?
Nothing.
Deputy Mayor? Neil? You're not going to have anything, so we'll move to correspondence. So the first item is a letter from Kevin James, Reed Land Future Street there next door to him. I think we've had this conversation before, but I would suggest perhaps the best thing for us to do with that is to have the lands committee go down again. We have the new plan for that area that we paid some money for a few years ago. And maybe the lands committee wants to look at that and make a determination as to whether or not we can accommodate the request. How does the council feel about that?
He haven't said why he wanted the land.
Not for me to know. I don't know if town manager has anything else.
He's not looking at building anything as such. Like his plans right now were just to not have someone build right up on them. And as you can see, there's a little bit of a different situation. There's a brook that runs along the back of the Skidoo Trail as well. So his contention is it's not really appropriate as a building lot anyway. It would probably be only good for him. And, whether he puts in a potato garden or perhaps builds a shed at a later time or just leaves it as a green space in between that and future development. I think that's kind of where his head is now. So he's wondering what council would allow, whether it's an extra 10 feet or the entire 75 feet, but he's looking for some extra land there.
It looks like literally wants to maybe eventually build a garage there.
Yeah, he wasn't able to say at this point, but he said it could, not to say it wouldn't happen, but.
You'd have to come for a permit, of course.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But anyway, my recommendation, I don't know how council feels about it, is that the land committee has to go down and have a look at it and make a recommendation. Is that a consensus?
Yes.
Okay, everybody's okay with that? All right, the next item is a letter from Ralph Tapper. This is from Pikedale, Newfoundland. And it's a request to express their concern rather about the growing problem of excessive loud vehicle noise in our communities. And there's two documents that they've attached. One is a resolution that we request be tabled at your council meeting for discussion and support. And if it's passed, the second attachment is a draft support letter. And you can see attached to that, of course, is the resolution, and then the last page, of course, is the letter. And in the letter itself, it says, if you want to read it on this last page of the item, excessive vehicle noise is creating significant disruption in our neighborhoods and communities. Loud cars, trucks, motorcycles, ATVs, and dirt bikes create a distraction for road use and a significant disruption to the peace and tranquility of the residents in their homes. I guess, Mr. Manager, all they're asking for is our support.
Yep, well, to have the resolution and then to, that letter you were reading from, I guess it's like a blueprint for a support letter, be sent then to the province RCMP.
I move that we accept the resolution and the letter be sent to.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's moved and seconded. Moved by Councillor Kelly and seconded by Councillor Hall. Any discussion? All in favor?
We do have put into the law.
Longest one. Longest around the community. Yeah.
Side by side, we decided to go and call them.
And you haven't heard us to do yet because we haven't ended it up.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
And those big trucks use the gate brakes too when they put them on. Driving us.
Yeah. All in favor then? Is everybody? Good. The next item is a letter from Peter Julian or Julian Peter?
Peter Julian.
Peter Julian. And this is in support of Canada Pharmacare Act. They're writing to you today seeking the City Council of Glovertown formal endorsement of Bill C-213, the Canada Pharmacare Act. And it's basically a drug program, of course, that provincial and territorial prescription drugs will be met with funding, of course, federal government funding. Universal public drug coverage is what it is. Simplified, it says universal public pharmacare will extend prescription drug coverage to every single Canadian while saving billions each year. And they're asking council to join other municipalities across Canada to formally endorse Bill C-213. And this is what they're asking us now then for our support. Excuse me.
I'll leave that up to the blue books.
Do we have anybody supporting it or not?
Before we support anything, it'd be nice to know, I know they talked about how much it would save people and those types of things, but there's obviously an associated cost with it. If you're making pharmacare free for everyone. So I think to blindly support something based on the fact that it's probably a good idea, I would hesitate no differently than something around this council table doing.
Okay, so the town manager suggested that maybe we should need more information.
I'll give you that.
Is there a consensus around the table that we defer until we get more information in terms of costs?
There's a website, yeah.
There is a website. Of course, you have to independently verify the information on the website. The next item is the monthly policing report for November 2020. There for information purposes. Next item is the Arena Pool Restart Grant. And this is in the amount of $10,000, which was sent to the town to provide financial support with operational costs and reduced income due to COVID-19. So that's just for information purposes. And it's $10,000 that we received for the arena. The next item is from the Strouds Point Cemetery Committee. And they're asking, the committee is asking that the municipality designate Strouds Point Cemetery as an historic site. Says we'd appreciate if the town council will work with our committee to complete the municipal designation. Now we have a newly formed Heritage Committee, and I'm just thinking that maybe we should bring the Heritage Committee into this and let them work along with the Stroud Point Committee. So maybe we can see that letter is sent along to them and ask them to work with that. I think it's a good idea, by the way. I think it should be done. Any comments, concerns? Right. Excuse me. The next item is from the RCMP Sergeant. Yep. Sergeant Adam Gardner. And it's the meeting that Chantel has gone to tonight, Councillor Lynch, and it was sent to us in a request for us to attend all the communities from Glovertown through to Abbey Adventures, Eastport, Gamble, and so on, are all attending the meeting. So we await, that's just for information, we wait for Chantel's return. The next item is the update on Municipal Assessment Agency. And again, this is for information. There is an interesting note in the first paragraph. The agency's fee per parcel remains unchanged. Not sure what that means, per parcel. Oh, that's per parcel of land. I'm sorry.
On the assessment
Yeah, on the assessment road. I was thinking something else there. Remains unchanged from $26 per assessment. So that's no increase next year. And there are some other things there. And at the end, of course, you have the new board of directors. So again, for information purposes. The next item is the Glovertown Fire Rescue's wish list for 2021 town budget. And they have a number of items there. Some of it is not very expensive, but several items are rather expensive. So my feeling is that with your permission, we refer that to the Finance Committee, which of course is all at council. But when that meeting takes place on the 7th, we would have a discussion around how much of this we can accommodate in our budget for 2021. Yes.
I just noticed that tonight they're on Facebook on the news that Charlottetown Fire Department, they've been raising money for upgrades to their fire department, so maybe they took a look at the same thing here. Like it seems that, there's more of us putting money in all the time, and I don't know how much funding they raise themselves.
They've never had to do it here.
They do raise funds.
Yes.
For things like this, but we never ever asked them.
No.
Yeah.
No. And I'm just food for thought. I'm not so sure we should be asking them now.
No.
But if it comes to that, I guess we have no choice. But anyway,
We don't have to get everything we asked for.
pretty much just food for thought. I mean, yeah. We'll leave that, if it's okay with everybody's consensus, we'll leave that to the next Financial Committee meeting on the 7th as well. The next item is the outdoor classroom request from Glovertown Academy. They're reaching out to the town to request some help in the establishment of the outdoor classroom. I'd like to have a fire pit area between the town's basketball court and the school road. We are requesting that the town remove some of the brush and trees and level the land to enable us to install a fire pit and seating. Seems to me that's a reasonable request for our public works when the time and opportunity arise. So we have a consensus.
Yes.
We need to have a motion, I guess. A consensus that that will be carried out when the time is right. Are you in agreement?
Our town manager has been promoted to mayor.
Oh, yeah. There we go. No, thank you.
That's in the next election.
Next election.
Yeah, just a little bit ahead of time. The next item is chair of the trail riders, and this is a request, again, an annual request, I think, from them, asking the town of Glovertown for $10,000 for their for the work that they listed there of operating local multi-use trails, alder and brush removal, culvert replacement, bridge redecking, and so on. And again, I would recommend that we leave that to the finance committee and see if we've got money to extend in their direction. I guess the trailer is not going to be part of that, certainly. Is there a consensus that we would leave that to the finance committee? Thank you. Next item is the letter, just again for information purposes, that was sent to a resident about the complaint about barking dogs. We had that discussion at the last meeting. So for your information, this is the letter that was sent. Maybe that's just for information purposes.
Yeah.
The town manager would like to have something to say.
The individual followed up after receiving me. I'd love to have something to say. The individual came down and met with me actually after receiving the letter and informed me that he clearly understands that the status quo with the dog barking outside can't continue. He had gone in and provided the receipts. He's after getting the dog neutered in hopes of calming him down a little bit, which I guess apparently would do that, and a bark collar being purchased. So he seems to have taken it very seriously, and from what I gather, even though I haven't spoke to some of the people who had brought forward complaints at any length as of yet, from what I gather from the limited amount I've heard back, it seems things have gotten better. So
hopefully, that'll be the case. Thank you. The next item is from the Heritage Foundation of Newfoundland and Labrador. This is Andrew O'Brien, and this is some information for communities, for town councils, and it's some information again about the value of heritage structures, and there's a letter there as well from the heritage. And again, I would suggest, since we have a new heritage committee, that this would be forwarded to the heritage committee to place on their agenda. It's also information, of course, that's valuable for the town to have as well, because we just recently had a discussion around the old mill, and we're going to do anything here, of course, that might serve us well in understanding the results of that. So if it's consensus, we'll send that to the heritage committee as well. Thank you. The next item is a request from Sonia Burry. She's asking for council's, I guess, approval in principle in a sense. I'm not quite sure. Mr. Town Manager, would you fill us in on the details?
yeah, so what they're looking at doing, so they're currently going through a rezone based on a previous request or idea that the landowner had done. This is something that we just received this past week. So what they're looking at doing there, as described by them in this application, to open a farm-to-table takeout for the public, to increase the rate of fruit and vegetable consumption to all members of the community and visitors as well. It's going to be grounds that are going to be accessible for a wide range of users, wheelchairs, strollers, who offer free Wi-Fi, picnic tables. So we're looking at doing, as I said, the takeout, but also with some physical activities, archery, soccer, those types of things that would be a paid for service. The people would go up there for the day, be fed, take part in activities, those types of things. So I guess at this point, it would just be support and principle and go from there.
So is any concerns with that? If not, I guess we need a motion to, I guess we do, I guess that's the principle. So there's support, that makes sense, yeah. Second. So moved by Councillor Kelly, second by Councillor Paul, that we would support the project. Sounds like a worthwhile project. Next item.
Everybody good?
Yeah, everybody's in agreement, yeah. This is an item from the Chamber of Commerce in Gander, and I guess it's sort of unfortunate that it kind of corresponds to what we've been trying to do in Glovertown. They're looking for a shop local campaign as well, and they're asking, of course, all the communities surrounding the area in Gander, for instance, surrounding Gander, to Glenwood, to Terranova, Bonavista, North, Fogo, James, to support this, of course, with the understanding that there will be prizes and so on given. I think it goes from the 14th to the 24th. But I guess since we already have our own shop local, we probably wouldn't be able to endorse that very much.
If you're able to gain it.
So just for clarification,
Yes.
in case Hazel's listening,
Yes.
I spoke to Hazel regarding this with the chamber. So what they're doing is 10 days of Christmas. They're looking at having 10 days of giveaways. 5 would come from the Gander area and 5 would come from the outlying area. One town, for example, down around the loop has a municipal park, so that town gave a couple nights free camping. So I guess further to that, it would be very limited as to what we could offer, because you can't offer a private business.
No.
We could only offer something we provide. So outside of ice time, which is very limited now because of the restrictions, I don't know what else we could offer. But just so you're clear, it's a little bit different than what we're doing, but it's the same, based on the same principle, right?
Well, thank you for clarifying.
Very welcome.
Anybody with suggestions as to what we might do? So, we'll just leave it for the time being, or leave it for this year, and maybe another year. There might be something that we decide to do that instead of what we're doing ourselves. Okay, the next item then is a letter from Chris Mellison, and this is from the Citizens Crime Prevention Association. They're looking to make Newfoundland communities safer. For 30 years they've been working, and it's they're printing 10,000 copies of a Family Violence Awareness Guide, and they're asking us to buy, based on the outfit, the program, I guess, the guide, which is $195 tax included. And this, what they have at the bottom, of course, is, I guess, what we would put in there. Have we done this before?
We have a couple of times. That is the ad. That is our
That's our ad.
That is our ad. I think maybe council should consider this one. We're all hearing of this particular problem having come to the forefront since COVID, right?
Yeah.
So it might be a good idea.
Except
I'll second.
one for 195.
Okay, we would buy that ad.
Yes.
Okay, moved by Councillor Kelly, second by Deputy Mayor Saunders. All in favor? The last item is our financial statement, our draft financial statement for 2020, and well, actually for 2019.
2019, yes.
And I guess we need a motion to accept.
Yeah. What I need now is a motion just to accept the draft as prepared. And once they get that, I'll get that motion. I will let the auditors know, and they will prepare the final document. If you then want to meet with them, we'll have a meeting, sit down, review it, or if you just want to approve it, it's entirely up to you. Sandy had a quick look at it. Everything seems to be in order, and in consultation with the auditors, there were no issues that have arisen. So we need to get that motion because our bank and whatnot is waiting, right?
I move. Moved by Councillor Arnold, second by Councillor Paul. Any discussion? All in favor? I guess it's something that you can look at yourselves and size up if you have questions or concerns. It's certainly something that you need to bring to everyone's
If you
attention.
read the letter that's attached to it, you'll see that's a general summation of the visit.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the numbers are in the draft document. Yeah, feel free to ask any questions. It's not something they're going to review at council.
No, you can't say that
Tonight.
No. Well, you get the opportunity to ask questions. Thank you for your vote of confidence, Councillor Kelly.
Yes.
Very much appreciated. We need a motion to accept the check register, please. Moved by Councillor Arnold, second by Deputy Mayor. All in favor? There are no exceptions. Before we adjourn, I wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Let everybody keep everybody, in mind that we do have a very short purpose meeting afterwards. So the meeting is adjourned.